When I was in the Mir Yeshiva, in my first couple of years there, I was in a building called Beis Yeshaya, which was the neighbor to a gigantic building site. I don't know if they finished it yet, but the time that I was there, the whole time that I was there, they were building and digging and causing us all kinds of trouble the whole time in terms of our concentration. All the more so that our shiur room, because we had quite a large shiur, so our shiur room was the dining hall, which was sometimes on the ground floor and sometimes on minus one. And at the time that we were there, they were digging the foundations of the building. So basically throughout the shiur, for our time there, was the whole time. Indeed, causing us all kinds of trouble. And they were literally digging foundations for the duration of the 2 years that I was in this building. I think they continued after that, but I didn't keep on as much. I think they may have at least started building the building now. But I want to ask you a question. It's a weird question. And the question is, what is on a higher level for these nice apartments that they're trying to build beside the Mir? The building, the actual structure itself, may one day they be Mashgiach in succeeding in building that building. What is on a higher level, the building or the foundations? So the obvious answer is obviously the building is on a higher level, right? As in the foundations are just a chitimtza to the building, that you want a building. So in order to have a building, I have to have foundations because it's not really going to work otherwise. So of course you would think that the main event is the building. However, the Maharal doesn't really look at it quite that way. Because when you think about it, the foundations are that which enables the building. The foundations will be just fine without the building. You take away the building, foundations will still exist. But if you take away the foundations, the building will not exist. In practical reality, you can try, and I'm sure there's some Israeli builders who have tried things like this, but it won't last for very long. So in terms of a kiyum, there's no established existence for the building without the foundations. So which is on a higher level after all. Indeed, the mission is, of course, to build the building. However, the foundations are the most fundamental thing, and they in some senses are on a higher level in the sense that they are going nowhere, even if the building could. This is what's called Bechinas Makom. This is the idea that what Chazal say one of the names of God is Hamakom. And the name comes up in Tanakh, and Chazal explain why is God called a Makom, the place. It's a funny name. We've got other names which you can try and look in article for what they're translated as the Lord or the Almighty, but the place is a bit of an interesting name. Chazal say what it means is that Hashem is Makomo shel Olam ve'ein ha'olam makomo. That God is not just a character within the world, God is the context of the world. So God is not a kind of content point within the world, but God is in fact the context of the world. And the Maharal explains that this is one of the highest ways you can refer to Hashem, such that if anyone remembers in the Haggadah, we're getting closer. And I learn Gevurah Hashem year round, so for me this is like we're getting closer. And he explains that in the Haggadah we say Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu. When we're talking about praising God for the Exodus, we use the name Hamakom. We use this name of God, which means the place, because this is really the highest level, and the Yetzias Mitzrayim is basically, according to the Maharal, just the most important thing in the history of the universe. And so we are tapping into the highest level of existence of God as we know it, in order to talk about the most important thing which ever existed in the world. So this is really the idea of makom, the idea of context. Context is not something which is so celebrated. We celebrate content, and there's obviously good reason for that. But it's kind of it's the secret hero of every entity is the context of that entity. And this is also the idea of those who support Torah, those who are funders of Torah in a financial sense, or in any practical sense, they enable people to learn Torah. You should see the things that the Nefesh HaChaim says about those who support Torah, the most unbelievable things that they are doing in the Olamot, because Torah is that thing which is so foundational and so essential to the upkeep, to the maintenance of the world. The Nefesh HaChaim says that if it was that any moment If there was any moment where the world was devoid of our Torah learning, the world would just go back to tohu vavohu. It would simply cease to exist. And in that sense, Torah is the most important thing in the world. And who is enabling the most important thing in the world? Those who are funding those people. And you don't necessarily, we don't necessarily think of these people in the same way. We'll stand up for, which we should. We should stand up for the Rebbeim. We should stand up for the Rosh Yeshiva. We should stand up for those who are learning and who are teaching and all this. And it's, of course, we should do such things. But how much do we think about the fact that they can only do what they do, that we can only do what we do, because there are people out there who are enabling that to happen? And so who's on a higher level? Who's on a higher level? Those who are learning Torah? Of course, that's what we want. The mission is that there should be learning Torah. And the world is maintained by the learning of that Torah. But who is maintaining the ones who are maintaining the world? It's those who are Tomchei Torah. It's those who are the ones who are supporting Torah. So, this is the idea of the Mir building site. You can go and ask them on that site which they think is the most important, the content, the building, or the context, the foundations. But this is the duality which really exists in everything, the idea of content and context. On the one hand, you have the content, which is the main event. On the other hand, you have the context, which number one, enables it, and then to some extent even rises above it in a certain way. This is the idea of Makom, the name of Hashem, which relates to being a context of the world, which the Maharal says is one of the highest ways that we can refer to Hashem. And this is the idea of those who fund Torah and support Torah, who enable those who are upkeeping the world to do what they are doing. There are people who are learning who are maintaining the world, and there are people who are supporting who are maintaining those who are maintaining the world. So with content and context, those who represent content in the world, those who represent context in the world, may they all be successful and rewarded for the unique contributions that they give.
We really hope that you're able to grow and enjoy with this amazing content that we just put together. Do us a favor. Don't just make it about you and me. Share this with the world. Get that Torah out there for everyone to see. Additionally, if you want to hear more, which we hope you do, you can subscribe to our content so that you can be up to date with all of the new amazing Torah that we have here in the yeshiva, pumping it out to you as the Klal.